The first thing Sophia noticed in the glassy kitchen wasn't the marble. It was the rhythm. Tap, 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 tap. A pause. Tap, tap, tap. No one else heard it. Breakfast clanged. Shoes clicked on imported stone. The chandelier hummed. But the boy by the window kept tapping the sill with 2 fingers, eyes on the light fixtures like he was listening to them. He wasn't listening. He was feeling. Michael Hale. 13. Billionaire's only son. Deaf since he was 2, after a fever took his hearing but not his courage. He stood alone, shoulders square, jaw tight. A world of noise around him. A world of nothing inside it. Sophia was the new maid. She'd started at dawn. She'd already been warned. Do not bother the young master. Do not improvise. Do not ask questions. Evelyn, the pristine house manager, had said it with a smile sharp enough to slice a cloud. John, security chief, had added, "Stay in your lane." The lane felt like a cage. Tap, 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 tap. The chandelier flickered once. A breath. Then twice. Sophia's heart moved. She knew that pattern. Not from school. Not from books. From a 1-bedroom apartment where her kid sister, Emma, had taught her that lights can be words when sound refuses to help. SOS. 3 short. 3 long. 3 short. But here, the rhythm was flipped. Hidden. Spread across time so no one would notice. Who was this boy trying to reach? Who had ignored him long enough that he had to hide his plea inside a routine? She set the tray down. She caught Michael's gaze. She didn't speak. She didn't wave. She lifted one hand. 2 fingers. Soft. She tapped the counter back. The same pattern. A reply. A whisper without sound. Michael froze. A tiny tremor in his lip. A spark. Sun across the floor, dust floating like quiet snow. 2 strangers locked in a line of sight that felt like a bridge. Miss Evelyn's voice. Sweet poison. Mr. Hale does not pay you to daydream. Sophia stepped back. Yes, ma'am. Michael's eyes followed her. He shifted the sugar packets on the table. 4 in a row. 1 turned sideways. The letter H. Have you ever felt it? The instant you realize someone has been shouting for help in a language you almost forgot you knew? What would you do? Sophia tucked the memory in her pocket like a note you can't risk losing. The rhythm was still in her bones when she carried the plates away. And the chandelier flickered again. What if the richest house in the city was the quietest place to save a life? The mansion breathed like money. Doors closed gently because the air was trained to obey. Portraits watched with frames of gold. Everything gleamed. Everything echoed. Except Michael. He moved like a shadow carried by sunlight, unseen unless you chose to see him. Sophia chose. She learned the route of his day fast. Breakfast by the window. Tutors in the library. An hour in the garden. A driver to school where no one signed. The world spoke at him. The world rarely spoke to him. Evelyn explained it with silk. He prefers silence, she said, arranging tulips. Noise overwhelms him. The staff keeps things orderly. Her eyes slid to Sophia's second-hand shoes. You understand. John's gaze was colder. No unscheduled contact. Do your work. Sophia nodded. But she watched. The patterns multiplied. A napkin corner folded twice at lunch. The letter E. A line of grapes on a plate. 4, then 1 apart, an L. A coaster tilted. P. Help. Sophia stands at the sink, water running, fingers tapping the underside of the counter to the rhythm she can't turn off. That afternoon, Sophia carried fresh sheets to Michael's room. He sat at his desk, drawing. Graphite dust on his fingers. He looked up, startled, as if caught doing something dangerous. She slowed her breath. She set the sheets down. Then she pointed to his drawing and mouthed, "Beautiful." He blinked. He couldn't hear the word, but he read lips like a hawk tracks wind. He shook his head and pointed to his throat. Then to the ceiling light. He lifted his fingers. 3 quick flicks. 3 slow. 3 quick. Sophia glanced at the camera in the corner. Always watching. She took a risk. She slipped a tiny notebook from her apron and scribbled, "I see your signal. Are you safe?" Michael's eyes filled. He wrote back fast, neat, exact. "No. Batteries. Taken. No school sign. No friends. Say nothing. Who took the batteries? Why?" He turned the page and drew a bottle with a skull. Night. Sleepy tea. Strong. Not safe. Sophia's throat tightened. "Who?" she mouthed. He looked at the door. He wrote, E.J. Then he crossed them out like he feared the paper could betray him. Evelyn. John. Sophia's mind raced. Was he being drugged to stay quiet? Was the hearing aid disabled on purpose? Was this about control, or something worse? Footsteps in the hall. Evelyn's perfume arrived before her body. "Linen's done?" she asked. Sophia smiled small. "Almost." Evelyn scanned the room. Her gaze lingered on the notebook. "We keep the young master on a schedule for his well-being," she cooed. "Routine is kindness. Routine can also be a cage." When Evelyn left, Michael slid a final note into Sophia's palm. "Tonight. Kitchen. Fridge lights. Watch." Sophia tucked it away. Her heart pounded. If he was asking for help, she wouldn't fail him. Have you ever seen a truth hiding in plain sight and felt your hands shake because you finally recognized it? What would you risk to pull it into the light? That night, the chandelier didn't just flicker. It screamed. And when the lights spelled the message no one could ignore, someone cut the power. Darkness fell like a curtain. The mansion held its breath. Generators should have hummed. They didn't. Sophia slid barefooted to the kitchen, counting each cool tile to steady her nerves. The fridge door stood ajar. A single beam of cold light sliced the black. On the shelf, milk and fruit. On the bottom, letters formed with white magnets. STOP. One magnet had fallen. It might have been TOXIC before the stumble. Michael appeared in the doorway, small and brave, a flashlight cupped in his hand. He signed fast, urgent. She caught pieces. Tea. Bitter. Night. Sleep. He mimed dropping something into a cup. Sophia nodded. She signed back slowly, the way Emma had taught her. Who? He pointed to the pantry. Then to the security camera. Then he shook his head. No sound. Watch steps. She crouched. The fridge light reflected in a puddle on the floor under the island. She touched it. Oil. Scented faintly like almonds and something metallic. Her stomach turned. From the hallway, John's voice cut through the dark. Power glitch. His flashlight arced across stainless steel. Sophia and Michael flattened in the shadow of the island. The beam swept. Stopped. Moved on. Silent moment. Sophia's hand over Michael's wrist, feeling his pulse, both hearts drumming the same frightened song. When the beam vanished, Sophia pulled the bottom drawer. Behind a row of neatly stacked tea tins, there was a smaller jar. Unlabeled. Thick liquid. She didn't open it. She didn't need to. She'd seen hospital syrups. She'd read labels in languages her budget couldn't pronounce. Michael tapped her sleeve, then tapped his throat. He signed sick and dizzy. He mimed trying to wake. He shook his head. Hard. Who was making the tea? Why? From upstairs, Evelyn's heels clicked like a metronome. Sophia. She sang. Where are you hiding? Sophia slipped the jar into her apron and hauled Michael behind the pantry door. She wrote on her palm because paper would rustle. Tomorrow. Emma. Friend. Help. She underlined Emma. Michael raised his eyebrows. She mimed a phone. He nodded. Evelyn floated in, a candle painting her face golden. "There you are," she said, like she'd found a lost coin. "We can't have the young master frightened by the dark. He needs his evening tea." Sophia controlled her breathing. "I'll make it." "No," Evelyn smiled. "I always do." She lifted a copper kettle. Steam hissed. Routine is kindness. Routine is control when it silences a child. Sophia moved closer. "Mr. Hale should know the power's out." "Mr. Hale is in a board meeting," Evelyn said, voice sweet but final. "He trusts me with his son. Don't you, Michael?" Michael stared at the counter. His fingers twitched. The rhythm tapped against the wood like a drum only he could hear. Sophia reached for cups. Her hand slipped. The cup shattered. Porcelain skittered. Evelyn hissed. "Clumsy." "I'll clean it," Sophia said. "Make fresh." She turned her body between Evelyn and the tea tins, buying seconds. "Questions for you. Have you ever broken something on purpose because it was the only way to protect someone? Would you risk your job to stop a cup from touching a child's lips?" From the doorway, John's light returned. "Power's back," he said. The chandelier blinked on. The fridge shut with a soft thud. Evelyn poured the tea, eyes never leaving Sophia. Sophia held Michael's gaze and mouthed a promise he could read clearly. "Tomorrow. We fight this. Together." And the next morning, the only person who could help walked through the gates, wearing a badge that said EMMA. Emma Alvarez. Foundation Therapist. Her badge flashed blue. Her eyes flashed warmer. She'd been scheduled months ago, the calendar said. Funny how the appointment had been lost until now. Sophia met her at the door with a broom in her hand and a volcano in her chest. "Please," she whispered. "He needs you." Emma read the urgency. "Show me." In the library, Michael sat straight, face calm, hands still. But when Sophia signed friend, he leaped up, hope uncaged. Emma signed hello in a gentle wave. His mouth opened in a silent, "Oh." They began with simple patterns. Emma's fingers moved like water. Michael's matched them with a storm's speed. The room changed. Wood and leather softened into air. The house began to listen. Evelyn arrived half an hour late with pressed politeness and pressed lips. "We prefer tutors, not hand-waving," she said. Emma didn't flinch. She leaned forward. "Michael," she signed. "Do you feel safe?" He looked at Sophia. Then he looked at the chandelier and let his hands speak like lightning. "Nights. Tea. Sleep. Head heavy. Batteries gone. No trust." Emma's jaw set. "Who removes your batteries?" Her hands carved the air. Michael glanced at the hallway camera. He signed 2 letters near his waist, hidden, E.J. Emma noted it on a tiny pad with a square of her body blocking the lens. "We'll protect you," she signed. John appeared in the doorway. "The therapist should coordinate with security," he said, pleasant as ice. "Protocols." "Of course," Emma smiled. "You'll want to see this." She plugged a small device into Michael's hearing aids. The unit beeped. Tampering detected, the display flashed. John's smile thinned. "Must be a malfunction." "We'll report it to Mr. Hale," Emma said, still warm, now steel. Robert Hale, billionaire, arrived then, tall and tired, phone glued to his palm. He loved his son. Anyone could see that. But love without time can starve a child. Emma stepped to him. "Sir, your son has been asking for help every day." Robert blinked. What?" Sophia lifted the jar from her apron. "Found behind the tea," she said softly. "Smells wrong." Evelyn's voice went sugar-hard. "That is a digestive tonic. The boy's appetite." Emma uncapped it and let Robert smell. His face blanked, then colored. "Throw it out," he said. "Already did," Sophia lied, tucking the real one safe. "Evidence matters." Robert's gaze flicked from John to Evelyn. How did the hearing aids register tampering? John spread his hands. Glitch. We'll run diagnostics. Run them now, Robert snapped. And bring the kitchen staff to the office. He turned to Michael. His voice softened. Son, talk to me. Michael signed. Slowly at first, then faster. Emma translated until Robert began to track his hands himself, the way a father learns to catch a ball he's never thrown. Father and son in a bubble of signs and breath. A language finally allowed to grow between them. Questions for you. Have you ever watched two people find each other after years of standing in the same room? How much damage can a busy calendar do? John's radio crackled. Gas sensor anomaly, a voice said. Everyone looked up. Evelyn's face did not change. Emma's did. Basement. Now, Emma said. And when the metal door opened with a hiss, the truth hiding under the house stepped into the light. The basement was colder than it should have been. Not the temperature. The feeling. Boxes labeled Archive lined the walls. A metal cabinet bore a keypad. John tried to wave them back. Safety protocols, he said. Open it, Robert ordered. Codes clicked. The cabinet door swung. Inside, spare hearing aid batteries in sealed packs. A row of unlabeled bottles like the one from the pantry. A dusty binder of behavior logs. Every meltdown, every defiance, every moment a child tried to speak and was marked as inconvenient. Emma ran a finger down a page. You sedated him to keep him quiet, she said to no one and to everyone. Evelyn's chin lifted. We maintained order. The boy struggled with routine. Children don't struggle with routine, Emma said, voice razor soft. They struggle with being ignored. The gas alarm chirped again. Louder. Real now. Emma spun. That's not a glitch. John's radio screamed, leak near ballroom line. Upstairs, staff shouted. Guests were arriving for a charity gala Robert hosted every year for children's hospitals. Irony dripped like wax. Shut the main, Robert barked. Back hall, John said. But his eyes flicked, calculating. Michael tugged Sophia's sleeve. He signed lights, stairs vibrate. He tapped the floor. He could feel the leak before anyone heard it. He could feel danger in his bones. His world had taught him to read what others missed. Go, Sophia signed. You lead. They surged upstairs. The ballroom glittered. The chandelier trembled. Waiters froze. Someone laughed, thin and wrong. Emma shouted, We need everyone out, now. Her words fell into money and disbelief. Sophia slammed the lights. Off, on, off, on. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. Silent moment, 1,000 sequins in the dark, the air holding its breath as the oldest distress call speaks through light. Is this a performance? A guest asked. Michael stepped onto the stage and banged the floor with a metal cane. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. Vibration as language. People's bodies understood what their ears refused. Feet moved. A murmur swelled. Evacuate, Robert roared, voice of a man used to being obeyed. People obeyed. In the service corridor, a valve handle shone red. John reached for it, and hesitated. His radio screamed again. Don't touch, a voice crackled, then cut. Sophia pushed past him. Michael placed his hands on the pipe and felt the rush. He pointed, there. Emma braced the handle. On 3, she said. 1, 2. Evelyn grabbed Sophia's arm. You don't tell me what to do in my house, she hissed. This isn't your house, Sophia said. And he isn't your hostage. They turned the valve. The alarm softened. Air shifted. The house exhaled, shaky but alive. Robert looked at John. Why did you hesitate? John folded, then sharpened. We have procedures, he said. Outsiders shouldn't. You had keys to the cabinet, Robert said. You logged my son's behaviors. You kept his batteries locked up. He looked at Evelyn. You brewed his tea. Evelyn's smile died. We preserved your image, Mr. Hale. A silent heir is easier to love. Emma's shoulders rose. No. A silenced child is easier to manage. Questions for you. When someone shows you who they are in a crisis, do you believe them? How quickly would you change the locks on your life? Police lights painted the windows blue-red. The chief stepped in. Reports were taken. Evidence bagged. The binder whispered with every page turned. Robert knelt to his son. He signed slowly, clumsily, perfectly enough. I am sorry. I didn't see. Michael touched his father's hand and signed back. Now, you do. And when the sirens faded, Evelyn asked for her last paycheck, and John reached for a door that wouldn't open anymore. Morning found the house bright in a new way. No chandeliers needed. Windows were open. Fresh air made the curtains dance. The kitchen smelled like toast instead of fear. Evelyn was gone. John too. The evidence had moved faster than their excuses. Laws would speak next. But before the courts, something more important changed: the rules of the house. Emma mapped Michael's world onto the walls. Labels. Pictures. Spaces where hands could fly without shame. The staff learned basic signs. Sophia led practice between washing cycles. Robert hired 2 interpreters and a security chief who had a deaf brother and a spine made of fairness. In the garden, Michael signed to Sophia about the first time he had used the fridge light. He had been 9. He had seen SOS in a book. He had waited. No one came. So he turned it into daily patterns. He hid it in napkins, grapes, lamps, table taps. He kept asking. You didn't give up, Sophia signed. You're a fighter. He grinned. He pointed to her heart. You, too. Robert approached, suit jacket off, sleeves rolled. He looked different. Lighter. He signed thank you to Sophia. Out loud, he said, You saved my son. Sophia shook her head. He saved himself. I just listened. Silent moment. 3 people on a bench, no one speaking, everyone heard. Later, in Michael's room, they opened the dusty binder. Emma placed it beside a new notebook with a bright cover. You write this one, she signed to Michael. Your logs. Your voice. He flipped the first page and wrote, Day 1. We turned the lights on. At the foundation gala a month later, smaller, safer, deliberate, Michael stood on stage with Sophia and Emma beside him and Robert in the front row with damp eyes. No chandeliers. Just soft lamps and an audience that had been trained to listen with more than ears. Michael raised his hands. The crowd quieted in the way you quiet a sacred place. He began to sign. The big screen behind him translated in gentle words. I tried asking every day. I learned to hide my help inside ordinary things. Some people saw it and turned away. One person saw it and turned toward me. She worked in the kitchen. She cleaned the floors. She carried her sister's lessons in her hands. She didn't have power, but she gave it. Now I have mine. Applause spilled. Not noisy. Not pity. Respect. After, Robert found Sophia near the coffee station. I'd like you to stay, he said. Not as staff. As family support. Director of Access. Build programs. Hire Emma full-time. Teach me. Teach us. Sophia smiled. On one condition. Robert blinked. Name it. We add a sign over the front door, she said. 4 letters. He laughed, soft and new. Help. Welcome, she said. Then, with a look that made him nod. Both. Questions for you. Who changed the house, the billionaire with a bank account, or the maid who chose to listen? When someone's language isn't yours, do you make space for it, or force them into yours? The house at dusk, windows warm, lights steady, A rhythm tapping not for rescue anymore but for joy. If you caught a hidden SOS in your everyday life, 3 short, 3 long, 3 short, what would you do first? Act alone, call for help, or teach everyone around you to see it too? Share your answer and why.